Why overthinking is ruining your happiness. Some people are not losing happiness because life is bad. They are losing it because their mind never lets them fully live a moment before analyzing it. You can be laughing with people and still mentally somewhere else. You can receive good news and immediately start worrying about how it could disappear. Even peaceful moments feel temporary to you because your mind keeps interrupting your happiness with what if it goes wrong? What if this doesn't last? What if something bad happens next? So instead of living life, you prepare for pain before it even arrives. There are people who cannot enjoy anything fully anymore, not because they are ungrateful, but because their mind turned happiness into a responsibility. Every text message becomes a mystery. Every delay becomes rejection. Every silence becomes danger. Someone compliments them and they overanalyzed the tone. Someone takes longer to reply and their mind creates 10 imaginary explanations. Even at night, their body is in bed, but mentally, they are replaying conversations from 3 years ago, thinking about what they should have said, what they should have done, how they could have avoided embarrassment, how they could have prevented pain. And slowly, they stop experiencing life directly. Everything becomes mentally interpretation. Even beautiful moments become interrupted by inner noise. A sunset becomes, I should appreciate this more. A relationship becomes, what if they leave? Success becomes, what if I fail later? And this is the exhausting part. Overthinking rarely rests emotionally. Even during good moments, their nervous system stays prepared for disaster. But overthinking is not just thinking too much. That is the surface explanation. The deeper truth is harder to see. Overthinking is often the mind trying to create control in a world that once felt emotionally unsafe. And when the brain becomes obsessed with predicting pain, it accidentally destroys the ability to feel good, to feel joy. Because happiness requires presence, but overthinking lives in prediction. So while life is happening now, your mind keeps escaping into imaginary futures. Many overthinkers secretly believe they are protecting themselves. They think, if I analyzed everything deeply enough, I could avoid pain. But something tragic happens. The mind becomes so focused on preventing suffering that it forgets how to experience peace. So they rehearse arguments that never happen. Fear rejection before it exists. Mentally relive old wounds. they prepare for conversations that may never come. And eventually, their nervous system stops recognizing safety. And even happiness feels suspicious. That is why some people ruin beautiful moments by overanalyzing them while they are happening. They are physically present, but emotionally absent. And the painful part is, most people around them never notice, because overthinking is usually invisible suffering. Ancient wisdom often describes the human mind as water. When disturbed constantly, it loses the ability to reflect clearly. Not because the water is bad, but because it never becomes still long enough to see truth. And many people today live inside emotional storms so continuously, they mistake mental chaos for intelligence. But not every thought deserves attention. Some thoughts are fear wearing the marks of preparation. And this is the root cause. The real reason overthinking ruins happiness is because it disconnects you from the present moment emotionally. And usually, this begins much earlier in life than people realize. Some people learn very young that being relaxed was dangerous, so they became hyper-aware, hyper-vigilant, emotionally alert, always scanning for shifts in tone, energy, behavior, rejection, disappointment. Their nervous system adapted to survival, but survival mode has a hidden cost. It steals the ability to rest inside joy, because the brain becomes addicted to searching for problems, even when life is finally calm. There's a scripture in the Bible that I'll reveal to you. And maybe happiness was never completely living your life. Maybe your mind simply stopped allowing you to stay inside it, because overthinking pulls human beings away from the only place peace can actually exist, the present moment. That is why this scripture feels so powerful. It says, Matthew 6:34, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." Not because tomorrow does not matter, but because fear has a way of stealing today before tomorrow even arrives. And many people have suffered emotionally from problems that never truly happened. Now, I want you to do this. This is the solution. Tomorrow, do one small thing without over-preparing first. Send a message without reading it 10 times. Take the photo without typing to perfect it. Speak without mentally rehearsing every sentence. And then watch your nervous system carefully. You will notice something shocking. Your mind is not afraid of mistakes. It is afraid of losing control. That realization changes everything, because healing from overthinking is not learning how to think perfectly. It is teaching your nervous system that imperfection is survivable. Dear friend, a river flows naturally when nothing keeps trying to control a direction. But the moment every movement is forced, the water loses its rhythm. Human happiness works the same way. The more tightly the mind grips life, the less life can actually be felt. So if your mind has been exhausting you lately, that does not mean you are weak. It may mean you have spent too many years trying to emotionally protect yourself from pain. And maybe your healing does not begin by controlling every thought. Maybe it begins when your mind finally realizes it no longer has to predict every possible disaster to deserve peace. Some people miss beautiful moments because they were too busy mentally preparing for the moment to end. Don't let fear make you emotionally absent from your own life, because happiness was never hiding from you. Your mind was simply too loud to notice it was already there. Dear friend, what part of this felt connected to your life? Do you think overthinking has protected you or secretly exhausted you? And when did your mind first become afraid to simply relax inside happiness? Let's share our experiences in the comments so that someone reading can pick something from. I am ThePZipporah. Thanks for joining me.